Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I I am multi-streaming on Bumble. I want to play a few videos while we wait for folks to get in, and I hope we'll see how it plays.
Would now put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. That also quashed the story. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton, we had everything. Do I think he was killed? 100%. Yes, I do. Because he made his whole living blackmailing people. There were a lot of men in those planes, a lot of men who visited that island, a lot of powerful men who came into that apartment.
How you doing? Look, let me start out by saying this. If I offend anybody today, I don't give a shit. Don't care. The media in the back room, I'm sure I'll be reading a lot of hit pieces on me tomorrow. I don't give a shit what you think about me.
ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He founded ISIS. And I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton. They have the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation. But the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. Things, very bad things. I would say treasonous things against them.
Hi, folks. I cut it off because I don't want to get a copyright ding on my channel. So I hope everybody is doing well. And I see some disappointment about the smooth. Whoever the top person is, I say hi. See, Kicking Bird, Wayne, Debbie, KNS Cleanup, Robin, how you doing? Nice to see you. Tank's here. Ha ha. Now, everybody's jumping up and down about we didn't get the whole list, or so they think. We'll get into all that. Jason, how you doing? Mac, nice to see you. Linda. So if I missed anyone, I do give my apologies. Am I coming through clear? Is everybody able to hear me, I hope? Miss Mendersu, how are you? Nice to see everybody. So, we've had an interesting time, and we've had some communications about this list that is coming out. We have confirmation about quite a great many other things that are going on. Trump is flexing his power, but he's also being very diplomatic and very gracious, dealing with people who have not treated him very well at all. So we'll go over that because Keir Starmer has some weak points not a lot of people know about, but I can guarantee you one thing. Mr. T knows about him. And, you know, the news is not going to tell us stuff. We got to keep our ear to the ground. So if you don't mind, good. I got 5x5s. Good. Broadcast, I'm going to go over some 17 posts. Like where I got that picture for my thumbnail with the Island Boys. Party's over, Island Boys. And General Flynn, he said arrest them publicly. And we got Zelensky coming by tomorrow. He's supposed to sign an agreement. We'll see how that goes. Here's how, let's see, how many, we got people coming in? That's good. Yeah, we got some people coming in here. Here's how I heard the, I got to give you a language warning on a lot of stuff, but hey, it's getting to that point. Here's the way I heard things are going to go with Zelensky tomorrow.
Where's the money, Zelensky? We want that money, Zelensky. NATO says you're good for it. Where's the money, Zelensky? Where's the money, Zelensky?
Where's the money, Zelensky? I tried to interrupt it for his wordy dirt got in there. But anyway, that's the way I heard it was going to go down. And Trump meeting with Keir Starmer. And, of course, he tried to put his good foot forward, you know. But there's something a lot of people don't know about Keir Starmer that people are going to find out soon enough. And he's going to be gotten out in a lawful way. But anyway, here's Keir Starmer standing next to President Trump. I like to analyze the looks on their faces. This guy's pretty smooth, though. He's pretty smooth. And I got some videotape of him calling Trump some pretty egregious names, mocking him. And also the video where the MP in the UK called Starmer out for sending operatives to disrupt the election for Mr. T. And I'm sure President Trump is very well aware of all those things. But did you know, before Keir Starmer came over, King Charles announced early elections? And, you know, Starmer made a big deal of handing Trump a letter from King Charles and inviting Trump to a historic dinner, state dinner. First time that there has been two honors bestowed like that on any president by his men. Trump got things straightened out with Queen Elizabeth before she passed, if you all will remember. And I'm sure that's been passed on to Charles, that they got to play ball with Trump. I guess by now it would be about 4 days old. King Charles calls early election boosting Farage. Remember Nigel Farage? Brexit. Boosting Farage's chances. So, yeah, Keir Starmer, whenever that date is set, he may not be there. He may not be there, and Trump Trump knows he's dealing with a guy that's on a razor's edge as far as his situation with the people. Here's the way, what do you all think of this moment? The press kept bringing up, I'm surprised, this is the first time they didn't bring up freaking eggs or chickens. But they did bring up Canada. How do you feel about the crown losing another part of the, I guess, crown jewels? And Starmer attempted to answer it. Watch how quick Trump shut it down.
You mentioned Canada. I think you're trying to find a divide between us that doesn't exist. We're the closest of nations, and we had very good discussions today, but we didn't discuss
enough.
Canada.
Thank you. Please.
Put a stop to it. He's in total control of these meetings, and what are you going to do? Trump's the boss. But anyway, let me see. Hi, Jerry. How you doing? Pappy Two Bears, how you doing? Oh, really? Friends with Seville, you say? Hi, Flannel Cheese. Nice to see you. Sherry's here. Where's the money? Doing? NATO says you're good for it. Where's the money, Zelensky? But anyway, they're letting their countries go to hell in a handbag, all of them, over in Europe, and Trump is trying to turn the ship around. So anyway, you all may have seen this video. I'm going to get to. I did make the thumbnail about the Epstein list, okay? And it's a part one. Is that what they call it? Part one. And let me show you what somebody put up before I play this video. Somebody put up a photograph. Where is it? Here you go. And they said it was heavily redacted. And it shows a binder there and a bunch of blacked out names. Now, we got to be careful over what's real and what's not real, who is trying to put fires out. Remember, Trump said that we have to be careful not only for the victims, but if somebody's playing around with shenanigans, trying to alter the lists or tamper with the lists to put people on there that shouldn't be on there. And you know what's dawning on them, though? If they did do that, everything they've been doing is by computer. Everything is uploaded. Everything is screenshotted. Everything is already in the system, in the internet. A proper algorithm, they could trace. They could trace when it got altered. Whose computer did it get altered on? I think it's just now dawning on them. Filtration into their systems. And they don't know what to do. That little exercise where they put out the chat log that was very perverted and very S3-actual in nature that a bunch of NSA employees were involved in and others, I'll bet you dollars to donuts that none of them thought anybody had any access to it. They start thinking they're all powerful. They think they're untouchable. And they get involved with those chat logs, just like they did with the comms in the Walt Disney Star Wars game that was worldwide, that got shut down overnight, that the White Hats infiltrated their comms. Well, the same is with this. This is the deep cleaning. This is getting the riffraff out of the NSA. I'm sure they had these chat logs for quite some time and didn't make a move on it. till they had a position of power. So what I'm saying is they take these actions to tamper with evidence or alter evidence or create, like the Steele dossier. They can go back and track that. The internet is forever. So anyway, let me play this little. This is Marsha Blackburn, and I'll play part of Pam Bondi. Stuff you probably already heard, but we'll get up to speed.
The letter to FBI. Redacted Jeffrey Epstein records. Attorney General Pam Bondi revealed some of the Epstein files will be released today. Here's what she said. Watch.
This will make you sick. 200 victims. 200. So we have well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. What you're going to see hopefully tomorrow is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information, but it's pretty sick what that man did.
Senator, you said you're going to release what you know. What can you tell us?
Yes, indeed, and I've been so pleased that AG Bondi and Director Patel have worked with me on this. As she said, we have to make certain that these victims, and it is over 250, that their names are redacted, they are protected. And Maria, this is going to be a phase 1 release in short order. I will have the hard copy in my hand. AG Bondi is responsible for what will be the public release on this. She has worked diligently on this and so appreciative that we can begin to get this information, that we can begin to break apart what became a global human trafficking, sex trafficking ring, about $150 billion a year business. It is time to get some justice for these victims, for these women and children, and this will be a phase 1 release. There will be more to come.
All right, phase 1 release. There will be more to come. So, General Flynn, I'll jump ahead to it. This was what we put up. Liz Wheeler said, this is the story. President Trump and AG Pam Bondi committed to names of the guilty. That should be easy. Do not fire them. Publicly arrest them. Give the whistleblower a medal and a bonus. Release every on any of the information except the victims' identities. Shut down the Southern District of New York completely. They are absolutely worthless. Yeah, well, they're worse than worthless. They are part of the criminal conspiracy, a number of criminal conspiracies. Money laundering, subverting Trump's presidency, interfering with the election, that's plural, elections, and being involved in human trafficking, aiding and abetting. There's all kinds of stuff going on with Southern District of New York. As I go through this broadcast, keep in mind, certain entities, the Southern District of New York, ABC/Disney, okay? You'll be hearing those entities along with what I've talked about in the past, the Muslim and then Brotherhood, okay? When I play those videos at the beginning, they touch on the big issues, illegal immigration, okay? How they tried to overthrow Trump, founded ISIS that ties into the Muslim Brotherhood. There's so many variables that we can have drift out of our mind from an overload of information. Okay, remember Huma Abedin. Remember her ties to what was the Pakistani guy who left a laptop behind? I forget their names, but they were big help, tech assistants for Congress. What was their name? The Alawahi brothers or something like that. So we got a lot of stuff going on. Hi, Tennessee. How you doing? Lone Wolf. Nice to see you. Theodosius. Lori. So keep in mind also, if I have to pull it up one day, I'll pull it up, where it says those that demand arrests happen now or a basic destruction of our government right now don't need to be part of the conversation. This is an ongoing operation, and people have lost their lives to get us to where we're at right now. Right now, knee-jerk stuff is no good. This is an international, worldwide situation. So I'm going to be bringing up, as we go on, a lot of posts from our favorite letter, right? And I'll have the Wild Bill referencing drop. See how they put the hashtag and then the number 3050? If you ever go on the 17th letter, remember to put the hashtag in your search bar, not just a number. Will the rich and powerful influence the court to prevent unsealing? Follow the attorney. Who took the pic? Who is located behind the camera? S3X trafficking is real. Well, there's another picture. I've showed it a couple of times with John Roberts standing in that beautiful blue water holding a beer. Chief Justice John Roberts. But we see heavy hitters right here, Island Boys. So we'll be going over some of these 17 posts. But what happened with this this release of information? Let me see. Kash Patel put out something. Let me see. These things are so small. Well, Pam Bondi put out that stuff. The FBI. Let's see. Dear Director Patel, before you came in office, I requested the full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. I guess I don't have to talk in puzzles now because everybody's talking about this stuff. If I would have put that thumbnail up 6 months ago, the video would already be taken down. Okay? This is what you call digital warfare, okay? We're overwhelming them. They can't stop it. I received approximately 200 pages of documents which consisted primarily of flight logs, Epstein's list of contacts, and a list of victims' names and phone numbers. I repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents responsive to my request, and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we had received the full set of documents. Late yesterday, I learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York, let me guess, Southern District, was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to investigation and indictment of Epstein, despite disclosed the existence of these files. They didn't even disclose their existence. When you and I spoke yesterday to learn this new information, it's being documented for the sake of history and the sake of informing the public to what and the Southern District of New York. by 8 p.m. tomorrow, February 28th, the FBI will deliver the full by 8 a.m. Tomorrow. Okay, folks, so we'll see. The full and complete Epstein files to my office, including all records, documents, audio and video recordings, and materials related to how such information was obtained. There will be no withholding of or limitations to my or your access. The Department of Justice will ensure that any public disclosure of these files will be done in a manner to protect the privacy of victims and is in accordance with law, as I have done my entire career as a prosecutor. I am also directing you to conduct an immediate investigation into why my order to the FBI was not followed. You will deliver to me a comprehensive report of your findings and proposed personnel action within 14 days. But she wants everything tomorrow by 8 a.m. I appreciate your immediate attention to this important matter. I know that we are both committed to transparency for the American people. I look forward to continuing to work with you to serve our president and our country. So that was a missive sent off to Kash Patel today. Now, what was his response? Let me see if I can pull that up. Oh, this is Patel responded. I don't know if I have that right here in the studio. I might have to go out of studio to get it. Let's see. Here it is. Here it is. FBI Director Kash Patel. The FBI is entering a new era, one that will be defined by integrity, accountability, and the cover-ups. No missing documents and no stone left unturned. And anyone from the prior or current bureau who undermines this will be swiftly pursued and brought to justice. If there are gaps in the Epstein investigation, we will find them. If records have been hidden, we will uncover them, and we will bring everything we find to the DOJ to be fully assessed and transparently disseminated to the American people, as it should be. The oath we take is to the law and the Constitution, and under my leadership, that promise will be held without compromise. So, resistance from the deep state. Hi, Todd. How you doing? Yeah, I agree. It was overhyped. But we shall see what happens by 8 o'clock tomorrow. I am of a mind that they already have those files that people are lying about and hiding. Maybe that will be the final cleaning of the FBI, is to get everybody involved in hiding those documents and just go ahead and put them in custody tomorrow by 8:05 a.m. if those files aren't turned over. Everybody in the Southern District of New York that is helping cover that up, along with the laptop that was left behind by Anthony Weiner. Remember that, folks? Remember what was on that? That laptop? Hi, Mike. How you doing? I'm just looking through the chats here. Hi, Jason. Nice to see you. Yeah, the insurance laptop. Not the insurance policy that Peter Strzok had. That's separate. They'll use terminology like that to cloud stuff. The insurance laptop for Anthony Weiner contained horrific stuff. And we'll go over that at another time. But we know more about that Epstein thing than the average bears, because most everybody in these chats used to go to the 17th letter. And some of you may still do. I do. To do a little recreational digging. A little recreational digging. And here's something to think about. Disney, ABC, that video I played where she's talking about at the beginning of the video, she's saying there were a lot of powerful people there, but they wouldn't let me publish it. ABC producers, okay, helped years ago. All right. Trash can reports, all right. Aid and abet. Keep a lid on stuff. ABC's owned by who? Disney? Magical Kingdoms. Disney Cruise Line. Afterward, you make your way to your second snorkel stop, Little St. James Island, where curious fish dart back and forth into clear blue water and colorful coral formations nestle next to amazing underwater formations. Little St. James Island. We know what Little St. James Island is, don't we? Don't we? It's where these guys are hanging out and where they bring underage little people. Here's a list I would look at on this. July 2nd, 2020. This was put out without comment by the board, Q board. I don't know. This is the clearest shot I could get of it. I will expand it and read some names. I don't know if it was put out there to goose somebody just before the election, okay? The one where Biden got 81 million votes. But you could get a clearer copy if you go to the and look up post hashtag 4577, right? Let's look at some of these names. I don't know half of them. Adam Perry Lang, Alec Baldwin, Alan Dershowitz, John Cusack. I'm just jumping around. Look at Jim Carrey, Kathy Griffin. Whose name y'all want to look up? It's alphabetical by their first name. Isn't that unusual? Kevin Spacey. I'm just looking. Oh, Lynn Forster de Rothschild. Oh, ain't that something? Madonna Sicione. Oh, who's that? So I'm going to keep this so we'll see how it compares. Virginia Roberts, currently why he was arrested. Oh, yeah. Virginia Roberts Dupree, right. That's the one who got Epstein arrested. Steven Tyler, Steven Spielberg, Stephen Colbert. This is a list we've had for 5 years. Sandy Berger, he's the one that was stealing papers, sticking them down his drawers out of the National Archive and got caught. He was stealing stuff for the Clinton administration and just got a slap on the wrist. Robert Downey Jr.? My goodness. I'll have to go over this. I'm sure you all could get different screenshots. I'm putting it up section by section. Meryl Streep, Naomi Campbell, Quentin Tarantino. A veritable who's who. Some people I've never heard of. Ehud Barak. Demi Moore. Who is she married to? Bruce Willis. Is he on here? Maybe that's why they got a divorce. Oh, I can't believe it. Bill Clinton's name. Anyway, we'll get back to that stuff in a minute. Yeah, Cole. Oh, was Podesta's name on there? I didn't. I'm sure it's on there. Let's see. What's his name? Leon? No, John. John. No, I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm sure this is partial. If they had 250 victims that they know about, or at least was disclosed to Pam Bondi, what hasn't been disclosed, you can probably triple that number. But anyway, I've got some more stuff about the island I'll get to with the 17th letter. I just want to put some stuff, because this is a piece of the puzzle, okay? Yeah, great. We arrest them and we have trials, and some of them get the ultimate penalty. Some of them get sentenced to jail for 20. What the hell good does that do me if we're still enslaved, if we still have a media that's bought and paid for, where there's still our economy and taxing our eyeballs out of our head? I could sit around broke with nothing in my pocket for working all my life, and I could say, well, at least they got Stephen Colbert. Yeah, that's the cherry on the top of the cake. I want a republic restored. I want of power. I want them out of jobs. I want them serving prison sentences. I want our wealth restored, and I want our freedoms restored. Just parading a bunch of perverts in chains in front of me is not enough. I want for. And it's going to take continued patience. Continued patience. Dan Scavino put this up yesterday. Another big sign. Time to abolish the IRS. I talked about yesterday how the media tries to change the subject from tariffs to anything under the sun but tariffs. If they would do their homework, they would be able to report honestly that we were at our wealthiest when we had no IRS, we had no central bank, we tariffed countries, we built the Panama Canal, we bought national park land, we had more money than we knew what to do with. Yellowstone Park, name the big parks, so the Skyline Drive, money for building the Hoover Dam. But they blame it on Hoover and they blame it on tariffs. An absolute twisting of reality. Here's a little, a funny little meme somebody did about Trump putting himself in a position to wipe out the cartels like he did ISIS. Mexico's president plans to change the Constitution to protect drug cartels. Mr. T in the background, don't you? He's saying, in case you didn't catch it, I got my eye on you. Yeah, you. Ha ha, yeah. You better straighten them cartels out or I'll do it for you. So anyway, here we go. Let's see what this was something Trump put up. I didn't put up yesterday. As president, who is being given credit for having the best opening month of any president in history, quite naturally, here come the fake books and stories. Remember, Elon Musk is suing Disney on behalf of Gina Carano for tens of millions of dollars. Trump is suing CBS. ABC is being Elon Musk is suing over DEI. That is going to blossom into multiple class action lawsuits against media companies, government institutions, colleges, okay? The medical profession, just about everything you can think of. I was talking about all that money that Trump is discussing that we can bring in. It doesn't include retribution for torts. I brought that up many times in the past. Because of this coordinated push. Here Trump is talking about one way he's going to weaken the media by suing, okay? Here come the fake books and stories with the so-called anonymous or off-the-record quotes. At some point, I'm going to have to sue some of these dishonest authors and book publishers or even media in general to find out whether or not these, quote, anonymous sources even exist, which they largely do not. They are made up defamatory fiction, and a big price should be paid for this blatant dishonesty. I'll do it as a service to our country. Who knows? Maybe we will create some nice new law. Remember what they're doing to Catherine Herridge. Catherine Herridge, who's been reporting about Gitmo, okay, who actually went down to Gitmo. They raided her office and confiscated all her notes. She's suing CBS now herself. But there's a judge trying to force her to give up her sources so Trump can say, you have to give us proof that these people even exist. Or you'll get the same treatment you think is okay to give to Catherine Herridge. So let me see here. Let's go through some of this stuff. What's this? Diamond Silk. There we go. Oh, snap. Catherine Herridge exposes CBS, reveals trove of documents seized. Veteran investigative journalist Catherine Herridge exposes CBS News for seizing her reporting files after her abrupt termination. They always forget that swords cut two ways, just like FISA works both ways. By the way, I want to thank Mike and Bev for helping sponsor tonight's program. I heard I'm on the big screen tonight. And Angela also helped out this week. I appreciate it. I have a link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee. Anybody wants to help support the channel. As I'm totally viewer supported, I don't get anything from YouTube. Anyway, so revealing for the first time the staggering volume of materials involved. So that is going to be a big deal. And it's going to tie into what Trump is talking about getting a new law and suing for damages. Donald Trump Jr. said, feel-good story of the day, but it's still early. A federal district judge on Thursday allowed CIA director. So here we have the NSA getting cleaned out because of those nasty chat logs that I believe they knew about the whole time. Now we're just in a position to get rid of them. But now we're going into deeper cleaning in the CIA. To fire intelligence officers who had worked on diversity issues. Judge Anthony Trenga said he would have ruled differently if he was making his ruling based on basic fairness. But he said law and regulation gave Ratcliffe unfettered authority to fire employees at will and without review. The decision clears the path for the CIA and possibly other intelligence agencies to fire probationary employees and take other measures to shrink the size of the workforce. So they're going to clean out these 3-letter agencies. I had a post. I wonder if I uploaded that or not. Saying you should be very concerned. I don't know. I'll get to it when I trip across it. Well, my gosh, I got a lot of 17th letter posts. Let's see what this one is. Donald Trump. I don't understand the Wall Street Journal editorial board. Never had. They'd come to my aid when I least expected, sometimes strongly, and I greatly appreciate that. Very meaningful. But then they come out with some real clinkers, like today's editorial that my auto tariffs will hurt the Michigan automobile industry. They are so wrong. And that's the other thing. Somebody kept asking Trump when he was dealing with Starmer. They're talking about ending a war, okay? And Starmer even tried to intimate that he wanted the Palestinians to return to Palestine and we should rebuild Palestine for the Palestinians. You could all but see Trump roll his eyeballs. That ain't happening. But anyway, and what do the reporters go to? Aren't the American consumers going to pay more because of your tariffs? We don't need a damn thing they make. We don't need their cars. Textile, we don't need nothing. We've got our own energy. We got our own lumber. We got our own agriculture. We don't need their crap. But anyway, the tariffs will drive massive amounts of auto manufacturing into Michigan, a state which I just easily won in the presidential election. Easily won. O-N-E. Isn't that strange? Easily W-O-N. But maybe it has no meaning. They already have already stopped numerous new auto plants from being built in other countries. A gigantic win already for Michigan and the United States as a whole. Just let it all happen and watch. It won't even be close. American industry will thrive, and we will make America great again. Yeah, it's common sense. If you say, hey, build your cars here, you don't pay a tariff, it's going to bring jobs. We had Toyota building in this country. We had Mercedes building in this country. But they all skipjack off to Mexico or bring stuff over on boats from China to avoid paying higher wages. We are hereby reversing the concessions that crooked Joe Biden gave to Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela on the oil transaction agreement. Oh, well, that's going to put a pinch on Venezuela's wallet, dated November 26, 2022, and also having to do with electoral conditions within Venezuela, which have not been met by the majority, transporting the violent criminals they send into our country, the good old USA, back to Venezuela at the rapid pace they had agreed to. I am therefore ordering that the ineffective and unmet Biden, quote, concession agreement, unquote, be terminated as of the March 1st option to renew. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So he's moving mountains. I mean, he's dealing with, I want to see what's going to happen with Brazil. All right, that's going to be next on the plate, but we got to get past this Ukraine business, okay? Drugs are still pouring into our country from Mexico and Canada at very high and unacceptable levels. A large percentage of these drugs, much of them in the form of fentanyl, are made in and supplied by China. More than 100,000 people died last year due to the distribution of these dangerous and highly addictive poisons. Millions of people have died over the last 2 decades. The families of the victims are devastated and, in many instances, virtually destroyed. We cannot allow this scourge to continue to harm the USA, and therefore, until it stops or is seriously limited, the proposed will indeed go into effect as scheduled. China will likewise be charged an additional 10% tariff. I believe that takes China's tariff up to 20%. The April 2nd reciprocal tariff date will remain in full force and effect. Thank you for your attention to this matter. God bless America. He's putting all this stuff out while Starmer's coming. And also Zelensky. I mean, he's got way more than half a dozen things. But as far as his foreign policy is, he's having an impact all around the globe. Hi, Cosette. How are you doing? Ronald, how are you doing? Let me see. Oh, really? Well, we did have, I'll just read what Ronald said there about Epstein. We did have Megyn Kelly say that we might be hearing from Epstein. You know, what we're seeing with the Pam Bondi letter and Kash Patel's response, these people going to the White House with bated breath to get redacted withholding of information is to gin up public interest. That's what made me go to the 17th letter and start pulling up all the stuff in there. We know, and we know that they've tried to cover up the evidence. Here's a post. How many of you all remember this? And I'll just go ahead and say the names because they're going to be coming out anyway. How many of you all remember this picture? Or a picture of security cameras, okay? Underneath the temple, right? On the island. Ronald, you put that letter in there. You take that post down right now. You do that again, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's all I'm going to tell you. Take that post down. I take my time to black out or red out the letter. Okay? Right there. See? To have somebody I tell over and over not to be putting that stuff in the chats. Matter of fact, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me put that back up there. because it's for you. F-A-F-O, okay? You F-A'd F-O'd wrong. Let me get on there and... You're 5 minutes, you're out of here. And if you do it again, you're gone for good. That's my train of thought. Anyway, so we know there's at least 16 different rooms, all right, that are surveilled with security. I'm just reading the comments. Yeah, I think that's the thing to do. Aggravating. There's 50,000 YouTube channels. Go aggravate somebody else. Anyway, how did they get this? Do you remember? This is underneath, okay? Because they have other pictures. And here is, I'll tell you how they got it. And they explain it all. They explain it all. Here she is, right here. There we go, 4574. Who's that young lady there? Media keywords. Rachel Chandler. Handler, Lolita Express. There she is. She took her phone down there. She took her phone down there. Not only that, but she was posting on Instagram and other places on social media. I can't say these words, but you can read them. Epstein Island dungeon beneath the temple. S3X and tour rooms. Openly flaunt across social media. Untouchable. They think they're untouchable, right? Well, here's what happened. She posted this picture. This is the only picture they wanted, or the only set of pictures they wanted them to know they had. The 17th letter had. But she put this on Instagram. All right, you see, these are different rooms. So she put more than one picture up of this security camera with a staircase going down. All right, you see it. But anyway, people spotted it. She was going under the name Ray Chandler. See? Not using her proper name. And people said, put on there, hashtagging the 17th letter Anon. Holy SHI. You know what? I see this post earlier along with Murph Ball, and boom, it's on 17th letter post. This is some weird stuff. Somebody said to her, "We can hear you breathing, Rach." Namely, they knew her real name. She put Ray Chandler, her full name, Rachel Chandler. And then they put P-I-Z-Z-A Gate. So she took them down, but it's too late. But what other posts did they put up? They put up posts. Now, I don't know if she's smart enough to get it, But they put up posts of how they can, and I've talked about it before. Hi, Debbie. What? Question mark. What's the question? Anyway, that they can, your phone, if it has a camera, a mic, my phone, they can get in and they can watch me right now, even though I have my camera off. They can turn it on remotely. Same thing with her phone. They've been able to do that for 20 years. They've got way more than this set of pictures you see and the picture that she posted on Instagram. So my point is to the people that are frustrated with Pam Bondi, frustrated with Kash Patel, okay? They already know. They already knew which people needed to go at the NSA, so they busted them with the dirty chat logs. They knew who's got to go at the CIA. They know who's got to go all over the place. They already know what's on that list and who's on that list. They want to know who's hiding it. And they want to prove it, and they want to fire and prosecute those people. Ms. Constitutional Rights, how you doing? Well, her name's actually Rachel. Their nickname for her, right here. Where did it go? Right here. Rachel Chandler. Their nickname is first is Child and then Handler. She was not a throwaway child. Remember, I used the term throwaway child? Some were keepers, some were brought into the operation, all right, to recruit others. The throwaway children, that is what they're going to get to. Pam Bondi said there's 200 to 250 victims. There are kids that never left that island. There are people that ended up on the other side of the Sahara Desert, never to be seen again. There are people who've had tests done on their genetics when they're very young. They get sold for all types of things. Is their liver a really good match for mine? I've got however many millions. And people think it sounds, crazy. But so did they say the same thing about the Epstein list. So did they say the same thing about what we've been saying about Bill Clinton. Here he is right here. How old do you think that girl is? Her Bill all red-faced, sunburned, wearing a red shirt. What are you looking at here? Maybe 14, 15? What's it? That is niece? Oh, Shantae Davies. Photo, massage, Lolita Express. Huh? What was that name? Shantae Davies? I wonder if I saw that on a list I put up. Here. No, her name's not on there. Shantae Davies. So she was probably considered a victim because she's underage. That's my supposition. So it's on record that Trump said, why did he spend all that money shipping concrete and pouring concrete on the island? Do you remember that, folks? It was before he got arrested the second time. I heard somebody doing a podcast, and they said, well, you got to remember, he got arrested during Trump's term. And the person on the podcast said, oh, yeah, that's right. Trump had him arrested. Well, what they're off base on there is that he got arrested a second time by Trump, because the first time he got arrested 10 years earlier or whatever it was, he got an illegal deal that Trump revoked because it was an illegal plea agreement and had him rearrested. The other part they're not aware of is that Ghislaine Maxwell should have been arrested years earlier. The Southern District of New York, here we go again, kept delaying her arrest, claiming they were continuing investigation. Trump had to fire the DA in charge. He refused to leave. He refused to be reassigned. So Trump had him fired. Bill Barr fired the guy at Trump's directive. They put in another one within 2 weeks, Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested. If it wasn't for Trump, none of this stuff would have come out. So, anyway, having said that, I'm trying to keep on topic because I could go on. I remember when Ghislaine Maxwell's father passed away, drowned off of a yacht. Okay, he had ties to Mossad, big media mogul. I'm trying to stay on track. So Trump was saying, why did Jeffrey Epstein pay so much for concrete? The staircase going down to these underground torture rooms, okay? S3 actual rooms. And that's why he brought all the concrete there. But look here. Look here. Daily Mail put this out. Exclusive. Epstein secrets erased as creepy Palm Beach P3DO file lair is quietly bulldozed before bombshell client list revelations. I'm sure they filled in more than one set of tunnels with concrete. Look here, then and now. They bulldozed the whole place. I'm sure that the White Hats have information on whatever was going on in that residence also. This was today at February 25th. February 27th, 2025. The scandal-stained P3DO Palace, where Jeffrey Epstein abused scores of underage girls, had been wiped off the map and replaced with a $30 million mega mansion. There's the new owners. So anyway, let me see what else I have here. See how much trouble I take to get rid of those letters? This is the one I was referring to earlier, where they should be afraid. And how do you break up something this big? What happens if low, mid, senior, non-corrupt patriots learn they were sold out? That's what's happening right now, folks, in the government. There are people in our government who work hard, okay, and who honor their oath, and there are people that don't. What happens then, okay? What happens if people find out they were sold out? Patriots learn they were sold out. What happens? Who is waiting with open arms with a plan to reorganize under a single entity with direct operational supervision, I believe that's it, by trusted patriots? Who are trusted patriots who understand intel collection? Namely, the CUE group. For those watching, you know who, whoops, I didn't black hat letter. For those watching, that means the black hats. This should scare you. It's the power you depend on to survive. Money is worthless without those in power serving you. White House military patriots, ready to play? In other words, you can't use the power of the government anymore to cover your crap up. And that's the only thing they survived on, is having control of the intelligence agencies. Remember Chuck Schumer. They got 6 ways of Sunday to get you back. Well, not if the people below them are given the power, not if their frog walked out or arrested or fired like James Comey. James Comey, he tweeted out to Andrew McCabe. Remember Andrew McCabe? This is back in 2018. 7 years ago, almost. James Comey tweet translation. When Trump fired McCabe, he'd already fired Comey. Special Agent Andrew McCabe stood tall over the last 8 months. Namely, do not talk. When small people, sheep, were trying to tear down an institution we all depend on, what they use for cover, he served with distinction for 2 decades. We own you and your family, McCabe. Don't forget it. I wish Andy well. 187. That's code word for you don't want to get 86. I also wish continued strength for the rest of the FBI. A general threat to other 8 sleeper cells. Well, 7 years ago, people were saying this is all garbage. This is all crazy stuff. CUE, Anon, they always tack on Anon afterwards. Well, here I'm reading to you about 2 people who are out of the FBI. It was announced yesterday there's going to be a criminal investigation against James Comey. I did a video about that last night. It's coming true. That's why they don't just use the letter. They have to add Anon after it. Because if they just go to the letter CUE, okay, there's no talk about Jewish laser beams. There's no talk about lizard people. There's no talk about all kinds of vampires and stuff going on. Every post, over almost 5,000 of them, are solid information with references and open source media to back it up. That's why they don't want people looking at it. All the stuff I showed you, and I think I got more to show you about the island and about the Muslim Brotherhood and things like that. So, anyway, this is a partial communication. The carnal desires of men, often foreigners, who are 3, 4, 5, or 6 times their age. Their madame tells me that many of their customers are Western humanitarian workers, can you say U.S. aides, who've come here to help rebuild Haiti after the recent run of natural disasters. The more you know. Okay? You want to talk about a proof? This is far from a vigilante group. Leading the team is ex-Department of Homeland Security Special Agent Tim Ballard. Remember that name, folks? Years later, his movie is being played at Mar-a-Lago and released in theaters, and they did everything they cut off the air conditioner. They said the projector was broke. They did all kinds of stuff so people wouldn't see Tim Ballard's movie. Here he is, perhaps America's foremost human trafficking expert. The problem in Haiti is so many children displaced or orphaned during the recent earthquake and hurricane. Recruiters move quickly to sweep these children up. And the worst part of it all is that in many cases the clients are foreigners who've come here to help. The NGO, how many times we heard about that? Workers and so-called humanitarians. Pure evil. And the famous saying, hunters become the hunted, the more you know. Let me see if I read this one yet. Okay, this is back in 2020. Now, I don't know if this was something to get some chatter going or get somebody to start singing or what. This is well after Epstein ended his own life, supposedly. Possible Epstein was a puppet, not the main person of interest. Financed by who or what foreign entities? His primary mission, I guess, gather blackmail on elected politicians, dignitaries, royalty, Hollywood influencers, Wall Street, and other financial top-level players. See, that's why this list is going to be so much larger than what Pam Bondi discussed. 200 to 250 victims? No. The list is going to be huge. Just look at where they're from. Elected politicians, dignitaries, royalty, Hollywood, Wall Street. High profile. Feed an addiction that makes them controllable. And a lot of us have speculated that the addiction would be for the chromio stuff, right? As in Adreno. All right, don't put it in the chats unless you want to end up out of here. Feed an addiction. They're controllable then. Maxwell family background. Okay. I just said he was a Mossad agent. He was found dead off his yacht. Robert Maxwell history, intel agency wealth. Newspapers in the UK tied in with the three-letter agencies. Sometimes it's the people in the background that are of greater significance, namely Ghislaine and her father. Oh, I already put that one up. I took a chance putting this one up because the rhythm can read those words, you know. All right. Here we're back to Rachel. Because this text was about this photograph right here. See the boat in the background behind their heads? How many, quote, girls were waiting for their return to the boat? Who owned the boat? What does a handler procure? Is a handler one of many? So it wasn't just Rachel Chandler. Connected to Epstein? Of course she was. Flight logs reveal many hidden artifacts. And then they put the initials RC. That stands for Rachel Chandler. And I know a lot of you all know this, but a lot of people don't. We've known about it for years. Like this picture here. Look at that bed there. What is that? ABC News told us it was just a gym inside the temple. This is a photograph of the inside of the temple. It has a bed there. Who's misleading the public again? ABC News. Owned by Disney. How many times in this situation do you hear ABC News and Disney involved in the whole damn thing? A lot of you folks remember this, right? They're all filled in now. What do? They lead from the lower part of the island into a tunnel. Into the rooms that we were talking about. I've even seen inside photographs where they open the doors up, and there's another set of doors against the dirt bank that leads, obviously, into chambers or a tunnel underneath the temple, which is all filled in by concrete. Trump told us about that. Just to let us know we were on the right track. That what we're reading and seeing is real. All right, folks. How many of you remember this situation? This is 5 years old. Almost 5 years old, right? More than that, really. Oh, my. Yeah, it's February 2019. HATE hoax by Smollett. False, and then the other word is flag. Designed to pass lynching law, gets wall-to-wall fake news coverage. Real hate, real violence, and fascism carried out by members of Antifa gets zero coverage. Reconcile. When will the FBI conclude their investigation into what happens if the phone records of Smollett leak? This is something else to look for, folks. Okay? We know people are demanding the client list, right? phone records of Smollett. That means they have them. What if they get leaked? That's not the only thing the FBI is hiding is the client list. They have the phone records. Who did he talk to multiple times prior to turning himself in? Well, we were told that his auntie is, who's his auntie? See, people are paying attention. Who is Jussie Smollett's aunt? Also sponsored the bill they were trying to pass, anti-lynching bill. Political forces at work, enemy of the people. That's right, sissy. Kamala Harris is his aunt and was trying to, oh man, that had a lot of those letters. But anyway, woo. Did you hear that before? What happens if phone records of Smollett leak? How did CUE Anon know? Do you still think it's a LARP? A LARP, which means live action role player. I've had some people say, what does that mean? Then maybe she'll be one of the first people getting arrested. I don't know. But here's the big kahunas right here. I wonder if it'd be okay to get a picture of that and put it on your Meta. Now that they're not supposedly not censoring anymore. I want to take a humanitarian break. I want to take a feel-good break. We've been an hour and a half, and I haven't even said, please remember to give me a thumbs up. But anyway, let's take a little bit of a break and watch something good. Just a little something to get us out of the morose stuff. There are good people in this world. More good than bad. More good than bad. Hi, Justin. How you doing? David said it's CGI. I don't know. I've taken barnacles off of many. I've never taken them off of a live creature except for sea turtles. But boy, that looked real to me about having to take those barnacles off with a hard object. Those things are nasty and they're tough once they get attached. Stubborn like barnacles. Well, now, here to the battle we're waging. Here is ABC. ABC, which when you hear ABC, you automatically think Disney. Another joy. Behar.
Unilaterally decide.
Whoops, I got that one wrong. Wait a minute. Here's Joy Behar right here. That is an idiot senator I want to play. This is Joy Behar. So I hate these black screen videos, but that's what I got.
I think that's true. I don't think he ever wanted really the responsibility of the job. He's not really bright enough to handle the job. And Elon Musk kisses his... and he doesn't get to do... He can take a nap while the guy was not born in this country, who was born under apartheid in South Africa, so has that mentality going on. He was pro-apartheid, as I understand it.
He's a naturalized citizen.
Right.
Now.
He's a naturalized
Now he's
citizen.
a naturalized citizen.
Oh, really? How did he do that? Did he come over the border legally?
So she sits there and says that dunking on Elon Musk, saying he's pro-apartheid, indicating he's racist or whatever. But watch how quick that gets turned around. She gets a word in her earpiece. Remember, Elon Musk is spearheading the Disney lawsuit.
That now I'm getting some flack because I said that Musk was pro-apartheid. I don't really know for sure if he was. He grew up at that time when apartheid Mandela fixed that. He was around at that time, but maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. He might have been a young guy, too.
Might have been.
So don't be suing me, okay, Elon? They're allowed to say any lie they want, but we have to be really strict. That's why this show's important.
Yeah.
That's why the show's important, because they have to tell the truth. But you see how quick she backed off and tried to clean up her statements about Elon Musk. ABC can't, well, really Disney. They have got a storm coming of lawsuits just for the DEI garbage, okay? Now, let me get back to this goofball senator. Remember I said, remember White House? Because he was mouthing off, going on talk shows, and then sure enough, we find out his wife got millions of dollars. I mean, within 2 days. So keep an eye on this idiot. I've never heard of him before. But I'll interrupt, baby. You know, he tries to say that the FAA is suffering under Trump, but he's so weak. You see him look down at the table when he talks. Anyway, I'll play it.
You know, on has nothing to do with efficiency. That's just getting rid of everybody that showed up recently. Those hires in some of these departments might be the most critical hires. The folks that have been onboarded in the last few months at the FAA might be the most important people at the FAA. Or
they've only fired 143 people at the FAA. It's got 45,000 people.
It doesn't, whatever's happening at the FAA doesn't seem to be working right now because the planes are at risk of falling.
No, actually.
What an asinine. The planes are literally falling out of the sky. Senator Murphy, remember him. There's something going to come out about him. And did you notice how he looked down? And now, wait a minute. We can say it right here. We had a plane from Mexico crash in Pittsburgh. The air traffic control had nothing to do with. It crashed. We had a DEI hire flying a helicopter too high and a half a mile out of their prescribed route that caused that crash in D.C. Okay? We had 3 small plane accidents on unregulated runways that have no FAA involvement other than regulations that have to be followed by private entities. Nothing to do with the FAA. And we had a Canadian plane flip over that had a bunch of DEI hires in Canada. Nothing to do. So unless I'm missing something, and this senator is going along with this BS allegation that planes are falling out of the sky because of Trump, You just heard this guy, Hewitt, tell him he fired 145 people out of 40,000. But anyway, he'll keep straightening them out. It doesn't go very long after this.
I am going to debate you there. 143 probationary employees out of 45,000 were laid off. None of them had anything to do with critical path safety.
Exactly right. So keep an eye on that Chris Murphy bonehead. We've been talking about it. Congress people who are going to go down the road. Listen to these numbers about Nancy Pelosi. This guy started an app where you can invest just like Nancy Pelosi. Listen to the numbers he's talking about on Tucker Carlson's show.
Pelosi, since we've been tracking her, is up 87%. That's from, I think, around May of 2021, outperforming the SPY by 50%. Since in that time period, since we've been doing this thing, we now have $300 million literally investing alongside her. People have profited $30 million trading, doing whatever she does in that time period, give or take. And her office has never reached out. She's gone on, been questioned in the press conferences, being like, do you think you and members of Congress should be allowed to trade stock? And she's like, yeah, well, it's a free economy. Like, if it's a free market, we as citizens should be able to trade.
But of course, it's not a free market. No. And her example shows you what a rigged market it is.
Yeah,
of course. I mean, she's benefiting from information that she has because of her position. She's not allowed to do that. She does it anyway. It's a crime. She should be prosecuted. It's certainly a moral crime. So give us some perspective. So she's up this fantastic number relative to like average investors, informed investors. Like, how well has she done?
Yep. So last year in particular, and this is probably and let me be clear. So we're not tracking to track her actual trades. So what we track is the filings of it, and they're roughly the same because they don't get displayed or filed too long after. So in 2024, for example, she was up 54%. The market was up around, I think, like 26 or 27. So she personally outperformed the stock market, the broader S&P by 20%, 25%. We also have these other trackers that track the hedge funds. And there was a report from Bloomberg where she actually outperformed, I think, like 95% of professional hedge fund managers.
So there's so many different angles to go after them over, not just the Epstein list. We can't get focused. It's increasing pressure on them. We've got these stock trades. We've got these redistribution of aid to a senator's wife. These are the people that are in control. Here, RFK Jr. halts $460 million Biden-era COVID-19 vaccine contract. Remember, Nancy Pelosi's stock trades, that's a lot of that stuff, and she's not the only one doing it, is where their legislation is influenced by what companies they invest in and what Medicaid and Medicare will pay for is influenced. How many people have been harmed because they had medicine hidden from them? Wait a second. Is this the one? Yeah, I must be living right. Is stuff being hidden from us so pharmaceuticals can make money, and so can Nancy Pelosi and everybody? What if cures already exist? This was back in 2018, before the pandemic. What about the billions public-private government provided to fund cure development. Sheep. These people are sick. And you see the word at the bottom, please don't put it in the chats. I'll say it broken up. Okay. Chloroquine. This was before the pandemic. Before. April 14, 2020. But this disease, cancer cures exist. 2018. 2018. Here we go. Here's another one. Back on the CUE. I played Kash Patel last night, and he came out and said, I do not support CUE Anon-conspiracy. And I said, they always stick Anon on the back of it, right? There is the letter, 1. There are Anons, 2. There is no letter Anons, 3. Media is a method, deliberate, to combine, attach the 17th letter to comments, theories, suggestions, statements, and actions made by 2. Namely subversive people who join in the conversation and talk about lizard people, vampires, Jewish laser beams. What happens when you cannot attack the information, primary source? Do you attack and typecast through use of others? Not all Anons are authentic, injected. You are correct, CJ. I don't get what this means. Retweet 1717 had a meaning. Mathematical probability 1717 day after. Do you believe it was a coincidence? Surgical removal of YouTube accounts occurred same day as Hunter drop. Remember, they wiped out 60-some channels on YouTube. Welcome to the digital battlefield. Right before the election. Here's where I got that picture from one thumbnail. July 26, 2019. There's Bill Clinton with Ghislaine Maxwell on the Lolita Express. And it says, media keywords. Image depicting William Bill Clinton, pilot Ghislaine Maxwell, boarding a plane. Ghislaine Maxwell had a pilot's license, and she also had certifications for submarines and flying a helicopter. She was trained to fly a helicopter and to pilot submarines. But anyway, there she is before her arrest, hanging out with Bill Clinton. And probably riding along in the plane was Rachel Chandler. Anyway, here's another post. And I don't know who that is standing above him. But must have had somebody on the inside. But he's on the island right here. This is where this picture was taken. Having a big old time. Oh. Now, if you all want to go to this hashtag 1881, okay? And what it does is, for new people in here, because I've seen some people asking, It gives you a link to a YouTube video you can watch. And then it gives you a link to a article, Current Affairs. And it says, read very carefully. Matt Duran goes undercover with Operation Underground Railroad to bring down Haiti child S3X ring. Child trafficking victims who spent their formative years serving the carnal desires of men. I read that to you in the other half that I put up. Often foreigners who are 3, 4, 5, or 6 times their age. My God, what are you talking about? 12-year-old with a 66-year-old? No, 6 times would be 70-some-year-old man. Oh, my, with a 12-year-old. Their madam tells me that many of their customers are Western humanitarian workers who've come here to help rebuild Haiti after the recent run of natural disasters. The more you know. That's why last night, at the end of my broadcast, I put up this reminder that many of you have seen the Fox News Office of the Inspector General. Where is it? Oh my, I put it up 100 times, but I got some new people that probably haven't seen this stuff yet. I hate to send you to my other videos. Here we go. Inspector General report. Wiener, and I was the laptop left in New York, Southern District of New York. Inspector General report. Hillary Clinton and Foundation crime against children. Why is the FBI's top child prawn lawyer involved in the Hunter Biden laptop case? Special Agent Joshua Wilson. Do you see a pattern? So anyway, it's a weave, but it's throughout numerous broadcasts, right? Numerous broadcasts. Let me see. I want to get to a holy cow. All right. I want to make sure I've gotten this was this is a representative of the party doubled their support that Trump supported, and Keir Starmer is going to get crushed by here very soon, I believe. But anyway, here's this lady's advice to members of Parliament.
We need to end the man-made climate change hoax. USAID, afuera! A government agency that fraudulently wastes taxpayers' money, engages in money laundering, and acts as a CIA front to manipulate public opinion abroad to effect regime change must be taken down. USAID has even indirectly funded the Wuhan lab from where the Chinese virus was leaked, which then ushered in the COVID totalitarianism. WHO, afuera! These people are fed up with these unelected bureaucrats of this lobby organization for Big Pharma, who are unaccountable to no one, except maybe to their Chinese donors. President Trump is showing us the way. And unless we want to go down in history as complete idiots, we should follow his lead. Green Deal, development aid, WHO, take it all down and give us Doge instead, so we can fight these despicable globalitarian misanthropists. Thank you.
I call them misanthropes. She said misanthropists. But anyway, that's a little too much for me. That's another one for me to add to my list of M's. What did I have? Malcontents, miscreants, misanthropes. Anyway, let me see what's going on in the chats. Oh, really? Maxwell has a photo with John Benet Ramsey. That's, my goodness. So, anyway. We're going to find out. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow at 8 a.m. if Pam Bondi doesn't have a complete list? Let me show you a little something. Remember this guy, Rod Rosenstein? Do you all remember Rod Rosenstein? He was director of the FBI. He's the one who said he was going to wear a wire to tape Donald Trump. Who's that got a circle around her head? Watch the wives. Follow the wives. Lisa Barsumian, Rod Rosenstein. Lisa Barsumian, former Bill Clinton attorney. Have you ever heard of this case, Hamburg versus Clinton, 1998, plus an appeal in 1999, where you're not going to hear about it because it's been scrubbed from the net. It's been scrubbed from the internet. Wife of Rod Rosenstein. Well, Todd, I don't know if there'll be raids at the FBI building. Because you have Trump dealing with Starmer, meeting with Zelensky, on the horn with Putin, on the phone with China, dealing with the Mexican president, dealing with the Venezuelan president, dealing with the Palestinian issue, meeting with Bibi Netanyahu. He's being a president. He's dealing with foreign affairs. But when you have the Attorney General put a date certain with a time that they want something that they know the other ones have, and then you have the FBI director back her up, and nobody does anything, they just give the finger? What? I mean, they would be paper tigers if they didn't do anything. They have to do something. Here's the way Clandestine looked at it. So what did we learn today? This was about an hour and a half before I came live. We learned that Trump, Bondi, and Cash are legitimately trying to expose the Epstein work office are withholding thousands of files, audio, video, etc. But Bondi and Cash are on to them and are using the power of their offices to force the Southern District of New York to hand over everything by tomorrow morning. We also learned there will be multiple, quote, phases of information being released, meaning more information is coming. And while the information in phase one might not be new to those of us who deeply in the political space who have been following this story for years, this information is new to millions of normies who have never laid eyes on any of this stuff. Whoa, where'd it go? All right, here we go. Where's that? Where was that? And now it's being blasted all over their social media feeds, coming from the has serious value. That's one of the reasons why I went ahead over some of these 17 posts. These things that I've been showing tonight are 7 years old, 6 years old, 5 years old, and they're right on the money. So we learned that Trump and his appointees have a plan. They know about the foul play. They are committed to getting this information to us. They are confident they will succeed. They are taking action to make it happen. They are being transparent with the public. And it hasn't even been a week since Cash was sworn in as director of the FBI, meaning this is obviously on top of the priority list. I am once again suggesting that maybe, just maybe, the sky is not falling. In fact, I'd argue it's the exact opposite. We're already in control. We've already got the information. This is where they wanted us, folks. This is where they wanted us. This is the way it is in Belgium. This is the way it is with Starmer in Germany.
I was just in a meme that was crazy. In 2 days, I must appear in front of the Court of Appeals for another case about memes that were posted 8 years ago by others in a private group chat. I face multiple years in jail for racist memes that I didn't even post myself. And to know that 10 kilometers from here in Brussels, migrant gangs shoot and kill people with weapons of war on a daily basis, but literally none of them get arrested or jailed.
Think he's making it up? Do you think he's making it up? Here's probably, I think, going to be one of the most famous photographs to capture what is happening right now. Want to have happened to us. You see this photograph? This photo from 2024 is perhaps the perfect visual representation of Germany. A police officer subduing the victim of an Islamic attack, while the Islamists, who had been detained by patriotic citizens, broke free and STABB'd the police officer in the back, ending his life. While he was subduing the German citizen who was a victim, the perpetrator got loose. So you might want to put that on your Meta page. Something else the media isn't reporting about Keir Starmer. He spoke with Vladimir Zelensky, this was the other day, expressing his support as Ukraine's democratically elected leader, even though we know he canceled the elections and he's leading a junta. Oh, did you hear Trump say, oh, did I say that? And then when he said, are you going to apologize for calling him a dictator? And Trump said, did I say that? He was trolling. He was chiding. But of course, they're all going to say, Trump's losing his mind. He doesn't even remember. Of course he remembers. But there's a thing going on that people aren't paying attention to. Starmer, Michael Heaver put this up. Powerful Trump veto cancels Starmer's surrender treaty. Donald Trump's former national security advisor brands Chagos Island deal a travesty and warns about threat from China if Keir Starmer pushes ahead with ceding sovereignty. This is similar to the Panama Canal. Nigel Farage gave a speech about it. It's not being reported even at all in the news. They want to give away islands that the UK has sovereignty over to China for a song. But guess what? Trump has veto power, and he's going to veto that deal. And couple that with King Charles setting elections that are right at Starmer's weakest point, and Nigel Farage is pounding Starmer for doing a Panama Canal type deal with China. He's out of here. He'll be out of here. So Trump's going to veto it. But anyway, when did you ever hear about the Chagos Islands? Video puts it at about $50 billion. So anyway, if you hear Chagos Island in the future, you know what you'll have a general idea. And here's this right here. An American congressman has proposed introducing a $250 bill with Trump's face into circulation. Bidenflation has destroyed the economy, forcing American families to carry more cash. The most valuable bill for the most valuable president, Joe Wilson wrote on the social network X. Yeah, well, I said the other day they should bring back the $500 and the $1,000 bill, which they took out of circulation, I believe, 1969. Well, I got some other posts, but I'm going way over my time. But I appreciate everybody who's gone by. Buy me a coffee to help me out. I got to point this out. Rudy Giuliani posted this. I still have in the back of my mind, I'm keeping track of this. He supposedly satisfied, what was it? How many millions? 140, 50, 60 million dollar judgment with the, they didn't say the money was paid. They said it was satisfied. At the same time that's going on, Rudy Giuliani is in Italy, had a great meeting with Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni. She has become one of the main leaders of a rejuvenated, forward-thinking, and self-reliant Europe. Does he look worried? Does he look like he just parted with 150 million or whatever it was? I think 148 just mean thank you. I think the judge, the attorneys, and the plaintiffs got a talking to. And that case was put to bed. And we're going to hear more about that. But remember, Rudy Giuliani said that the mother and daughter, I won't say their names, had been through enough. And I think they were being cajoled and threatened. Oh, yeah, this. Gene Hackman and his wife passed away. He was 95. I saw a video of him about 2 years ago. You know, he was 93 then. He was very, very thin, as you would imagine a 93-year-old person could be. But he was driving his own truck, and he got out. He went to a convenience store. They're saying stuff like the bodies were mummified and she had pills everywhere. You know, I would give it time. He was a Democrat, but he was a big supporter of Ronald Reagan. I never heard a bad thing about Gene Hackman. And he got out of the industry. He just told him, that's it, I'm done. Carbon monoxide's been brought up, and what people are saying about their faces being swollen and bloated, that's what happens with carbon monoxide poisoning. She may have woke up in a disoriented state, nauseous state, went to the bathroom or kitchen or wherever to try to find some medicine in a semi-conscious state. That may have happened. It could be any number of things. It could have been a pact, P-A-C-T. You know what I mean? A you-know-what-aside pact. I don't know. But from the initial reports, putting together things from various reports, the carbon monoxide is definitely high on the list for facial bloating and discoloration. That it's something you don't even smell it, you don't even know. You go to sleep, and to get over carbon monoxide poisoning is very difficult. You got to go in a hyperbaric chamber, clean your blood if you survive. So anyway, he had a long life and a storied career, and I hate that it happened to their family. They have 3 children, so we'll hear more out of it. But anyway, goodbye to another icon who I never, as I said, I never heard anything bad about. To dump on top of his call to get rid of property taxes. I showed you yesterday, DeSantis, or day before yesterday, I can't remember, DeSantis to create a Florida Doge to audit universities and local governments. I can't wait till it comes around my territory. Doge. Right, folks? All right, so I'm going to play this. Well, I don't know if I get a copyright strike on that or not. Daggone it. That's so unfair, but it happens. It happens. What can I play? What can I play for the exit? Well, I can't play that one. That one has the J and then 6 stuff. I know I get in trouble for that. How about that? I mean, was my brain gone? I'll play this lady, whatever she's got to say. Maybe it's something good. I don't know. Good or bad, I'm going to play it anyway. So anyway, folks, I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. And yes, give me a thumbs up. I saw that in there. If you don't mind, I appreciate it. And again, I will be going live, let's see, tomorrow night. Should be if everything goes okay. If you're subscribed and hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live. It shouldn't be a problem. So anyway, again, thank you for spending your precious time with me. I'll be seeing you soon. Enjoy whatever this video is. Have a great night. This is Mountain Man. Over and out.
Abortion is an act of love. Abortion is an act of love.
Abortion is an act of love.
When I first heard the slogan that abortion is an act of love, I retracted just a little. And then I started thinking about my sister's story and I started thinking about individual case stories and saving lives and saving futures, that abortion can be the most loving act that we can have.
My abortion was an act of love. The decision we made was with her in mind this whole time. It was really a decision made out of love.
Abortion is an act of love. Self-love, if nothing else. You have to love yourself.
The patients that walk into the clinic, they're more than just patients, they're people. People that seek abortion are intelligent, they're responsible, and the stigma against people seeking health care has got to stop.
If people hear the words abortion as an act of love, I just ask them again, look at the individual. Look at the individuals and how their lives change.
Abortion is an act of love. It gave me the ability to take control and power over my own life and make the most important decision up to me.